The party was at its peak, but I felt like a ghost moving through the house. My best friend, Chloe, had been distracted all night, and honestly, the neon lights and the smell of cheap beer were starting to make my head spin. I stepped out onto the porch just to breathe. The air was crisp, almost biting, and the suburban street was lined with shadows. I checked my phone 3 battery and no rides available for 40 minutes. Dear listeners, before I began telling this complicated story of my life, I ask you to support my channel. Subscribe, leave a like and write the comment which city you are listening from. This is very important for us, and now enjoy listening. That's when the black SUV pulled up. It moved silently, like a predator in the dark. The window rolled down, and the warm glow of the dashboard revealed Mr. Harrison, Chloe's dad. He was the kind of man who always looked like he was in control. Crisp button-downs, a quiet voice, and a gaze that felt like it saw right through you. "Chloe told me you were headed out, Sarah," he said. His voice was like a low cello note in the quiet night. "It's too cold to be waiting out here. Get in. I'll take you home." I hesitated for a second, but the warmth of the car was already reaching out to me. I stepped inside, the leather seats creaking under my weight, and the smell of sandalwood and expensive tobacco filled my lungs. The drive started normally. We talked about my classes, about Chloe's plans for the summer, the usual small talk. But there was a weight to the silence between our sentences. Mr. Harrison didn't drive like he was in a hurry. He took the long way, bypassing the highway for the winding back roads that cut through the woods. The streetlights became fewer and farther between, leaving us in the rhythmic glow of the dashboard. I found myself watching his hands on the wheel, steady, strong, and showing no signs of hesitation. "You're very quiet tonight, Sarah," he said, not breaking his gaze from the road. "Usually, you and Chloe are a whirlwind of noise." I laughed nervously, but the sound felt thin. I told him I was just tired. He looked at me then, just a quick glance, but it felt like he was memorizing my face in the dark. "You're more than tired," he murmured. "You're growing up, and I don't think you realize how much the world is starting to notice." My heart did a slow, heavy thud against my ribs. The car felt smaller, the air thicker. We reached the crossroads that led to my apartment, but he didn't turn. He kept going, pulling into the gravel overlook that sat high above the town. He killed the engine. The silence that followed was massive, only the sound of the engine cooling and the wind whistling through the trees. He didn't say anything for a long time. He just stared out at the flickering lights of the town below. "I've spent 20 years being the person everyone expected me to be," he finally said. His voice was lower now, a secret shared in the dark. "The perfect father, the perfect neighbor, the perfect husband." He turned in his seat, his arm resting on the center console inches from mine. "But lately, every time you come over, I find myself wishing the door would never open, so I could just keep you there, just for a moment." He confessed that he hadn't just happened to be passing by the party. He had been waiting for the moment I would be alone. The thumbnail moment came when he reached across and unbuckled my seatbelt. The click felt like a bridge collapsing behind me. He didn't move away. He stayed close, his presence overwhelming. "I know it's wrong," he whispered, his eyes dark and desperate. "But I've wanted to tell you this for 3 years." The drive back to my apartment was a blur of streetlights and the sound of my own heartbeat. We didn't talk about the rules we had just broken. We didn't talk about Chloe. There was only the shared secret, a heavy, invisible thing sitting between us on the leather seat. When he pulled up to my curb, he didn't get out to open the door. He just looked at me a long, searching look that said, "Now you know." I stepped out of the car, the cold air hitting me like a physical blow. I watched the taillights of the SUV disappear around the corner, leaving me in the dark. I walked up to my apartment, my legs feeling like they belonged to someone else. I knew that the next time I saw Chloe, I would have to smile. I would have to go to their house for dinner. I would have to look at Mr. Harrison across the table and act like he was just my friend's dad. But as I lay in bed, the scent of his cologne still clinging to my skin, I realized that the girl who had left that party was gone. I was bound to a secret now, and every time it rained, I would be back in that car, high above the town, caught in the shadow of a man I was never supposed to want. If you like the video, please subscribe my channel and leave a like.